Are you?
Yes, I can.
All right.
We back in the ladies' lounge.
Hey,
We got the
you.
beautiful Deborah Austin.
Thank you, girl. You gotta be beautiful like
Welcome,
you.
welcome, welcome. I am so excited to have you here.
I am so excited to be here. I was so glad to get your message. And I had no idea that this was what you wanted, though, but I'm glad to be here. This is awesome. Thank you.
Yes, yes, ma'am. And for everybody, make sure we're gonna start off by saying this. Please, please, please make sure you are subscribed to the Ladies Lounge on YouTube and also to Deborah Austin YouTube as well. Um, and we are just here to kick things off with this dope conversation that is so needed, and I am so excited to have Miss Deborah, life coach, marriage strategist, in the ladies' lounge. It is an honor and under such short notice, but we here, y'all. We
Hey,
here.
we can talk about these kinds of things all day.
I know.
We don't need a whole lot of notification. We always have good chats.
Right. When you know, you know. Now, as
Absolutely.
always, before we start, just some housekeeping rules. We do ask that you are respectful in the ladies' lounge as we are respectful to you for those in our chat. We ask the same thing. We do we're going to lead by example here in the ladies' lounge. So we just ask that you just have fun. I hope everybody has grabbed a drink already. You already know what to do. Deborah, what you drinking on over there?
Girl, look, I knew I was going to be talking, so I wanted to make sure I had something that was warm and tasty. So I like to drink apple cider vinegar, honey, ginger, and lime with hot water in my cup. It is so delicious. And of course, it's good for you.
That
So, yeah,
sounds good. That
that's
sounds.
what I have. I don't
So
have
I'm a little
anything
close
stronger in
today.
here tonight.
I got some tea going too, but it ain't no tea like yours. We got
Uh-oh.
the Arizona ginseng tea over here, but I got to get to
Hey,
your level
it's
one day.
delicious and it serves the purpose. So there you go.
Absolutely, yes, ma'am. So let's get into it without further ado. So tonight's topic: navigating life's transition with a life coach, and we got Deborah. I am so excited. So tell us about yourself.
Okay. So, my name is Deborah Austin, and thank you for anyone watching. We are so happy to see you here tonight. I am a certified life coach and marriage strategist. I empower Black women to discover their truth and thrive at the midlife stage of life and marriage. And so I work with women who are interested in going from one place to another, because that's what a life coach does for you. A lot of people aren't even familiar with that term, or they may be familiar with the term, but not really sure about, how it works. So as a life coach, you are not with someone for years and years and years. Although, I mean, you may establish a relationship and all that, but it's not like therapy. So a life coach is basically to help you to get from point A to point B, and the two of you, create the steps and the tasks that you want to do along the way to make it to that goal. And then I'm your accountability partner. If you say that you want to start an exercise routine and you tell me that you're going to get up 30 minutes earlier in the morning and that's what you're going to do. And then when we chat and you're like, girl, I just, I'm going to be like, no, really. Now, on such and such a day, we discussed, because I want it to be fun. I don't want you to feel, like, oh, shame, shame, shame. But also, you said you wanted to do this and you asked me to hold you accountable. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's what a life coach does for you. It's structured and the two of you work together. And then you get to that goal, hopefully. And if you don't, you reassess and keep going.
I love that. So for me, I'm really big on accountability, and that's one thing that I heard you say is that you hold women accountable.
Absolutely.
And now for people, because accountability has been used in such a negative term.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get one to understand that it's okay to have accountability partner? Especially when you're working, like if I'm working on my goals.
Right. Because I'm sure you all have heard the phrase, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Or that it takes a village. It takes a village not only to raise children, it takes a village just to maintain your life. Because there's no point in redoing when you don't have to. If someone else has been there and done that, even if they haven't, they may know someone who has, they may talk to them about it. And it's not that you have to do what they say, but you get a perspective that's different than your own. And a lot of times that's confirming for you about what you were thinking, or it may make you realize I was really off base with, that's not the direction that I want this to go. So maybe I'm going to reevaluate what I'm thinking about it and take it a different way. So that's.
And that's all healthy, in my opinion. I had to, because when it came to that accountability, I was not a fan of it. I was just like, I don't need nobody to hold me accountable. Girl, you ain't been in this gym yet. And we are in we are in September. So obviously Brittany knows she needs accountability partner, and it's okay. And I honestly learned that you can have fun with it.
Right. And that's what I mean. That's why I was like, it's not like you have to, have 50 lashes because you don't do anything. But in all sincerity, if it is really a goal that you are trying to achieve, then you will appreciate that your accountability partner is really an accountability partner. Because
Correct.
I have had accountability partners and we basically just commiserated. So you don't want to fall into that.
Mm-mm.
You want to make sure that each of you is holding the other up in the way that you intend. Because
Right.
sometimes, when you have an accountability partner, you generally are going to set a specific date and time that you're going to meet with them and how long you're going to talk or what you're going to talk about. But, we would end up talking about, and this was honestly early in my experience with accountability partners, because also if you've never done it or if you've never even heard about it, then you're not necessarily sure about how to go about the process. So
Right.
my early accountability partners, we a lot of times had the same challenges, and we talk about the challenges instead of talking about what we needed to do in order to get past those challenges. So you have to, it's a bit of a fine line, but also if you're being led by a life coach, then they will be more experienced and they won't fall into that trap and they won't allow you to fall into it, even if because a lot of times, you become really friendly with your clients and the people that you're working with. So you may talk about family and stuff like that, but if that's not what they're there about, then that you can't use your whole time to talk about that. You need to be on task on what you are trying to accomplish for both of you.
So now before I get in, like before I even think about having that accountability from the beginning, what's the difference between having a life coach and a therapist?
So a therapist would get more into the background of your life and how you got to where you are right now. The life coach is like, okay, this is where you are and this is where you want to go. How do we get there? So it's a little bit different in that, I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but I don't care how you got here because you're here and we
Correct.
need to make progress and move on. Now, you may sometimes have to talk about those things because they are what is referred to as, a lot of times they fall into the categories of limiting beliefs. And people believe those things. It's, if growing up, you were always told that girls can't do blah, 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 whatever that is, and that's all you know. When you see a girl doing that, you have an issue. Or you may think there's something wrong with you if you want to do it, because you're a girl. And I know we get into different, extremes. I don't want to say extremes, but
Right.
just to make it, real basic, to get an idea of how limiting belief can keep you from stepping out and trying to do something that you are really interested in.
Like that a lot.
Limiting beliefs are a lot. They are the reasons that so many people just don't do. It's whatever that thing is. They don't, they don't go to college because nobody in their family ever went to college. So, our family don't go to college. We don't do that. But in their heart of hearts, they want to go to college, but they just never even pursued it because that's not what, or all your life growing up, your family was like, oh, you're so smart, you ought to be a teacher. Go into teaching. That's not what you wanted to do. I didn't start teaching until I was 40. The year that I turned 40 was the year that I started teaching. And I had done other things, but never really found anything that I stuck with. And once I got into teaching, I taught for 21 years. And so we can sometimes, and I won't even, I can't even put my finger on what my limiting belief was, but what had happened was I didn't take the time to really and truly figure out what I wanted to do. Something else that a lot of women have a challenge with doing, because we're so involved with all the other aspects of life. Then when it's time for us, we're tired, and we only.
So let me ask you, because
gone, but I do what's easy.
So let me ask. So what I'm hearing is this like where now I don't know who I am because I grew up in the family that went to, and I'm just using my family as an example. Like everybody went to FAM in my family. And I went to FAM. I wanted to go to FAM, true enough.
I know a lot of friends that went to FAM.
Shout out to the Rattlers. We out here.
Shout out to the Rattlers.
But so for me, what I'm hearing is coming from a family that went to FAM. I did 2 years at FAM. I got pregnant. For the record, I got pregnant at home on summer vacation. But so let's just say I was gung ho on going to FAM because of my family. But then when I get there, I don't know what to do because I went because of my family. So is this where a lot of us as women, we lose ourselves, or maybe never even knew who we were because we were living based off of somebody else?
Yeah. And a lot of times we're afraid to speak up. So now, and I know, and this is so odd that you should, not odd, but I actually know someone who went to FAM as a freshman, did not like it.
Wow.
Transferred to another school and thrived.
Wow.
And I did not go to an HBCU, and now I wish that I had, but I wasn't made aware of them in a positive light, because I am 63, I'll be 64 in October. So I was born in 1960, and back then HBCUs were not, well, by the time, I was about time to go to college, they were not where I was. I will say they were not talked about in a positive light. And my father was in the military, so I was on, it was just not the environment that was like, yes, go to an HBCU. Nobody ever, shared that with me. And then my daddy wanted me to go to the University of Georgia, and I heard him say that one day. He actually wasn't even talking to me. But I heard him say that. And I was like, okay, I'll go to University of Georgia. And I did. But that's all of that shows how a lot of times we just do things because it's convenient or because it's what somebody said or because everybody else is doing it or all of those reasons that really don't make sense if you really think about it because you're the one that has to do it. One of the things that when I'm working with my clients who are they're working on their marriage or relationship, I never tell anybody to leave their husband. I'll never tell them to stay because I tell them I do not have to wake up with them or without them. So you are going to have to live that life and you are going to need to do whatever it takes for you to do whatever you want the outcome to be. Now, having said that, you're going to have to make a decision and go all in. You can't be, if you say
you can't on the fence now.
You got to do, you got to make it work. If you say you're going to go, you got to, make it work, whatever it is. That's a goal, not to say that it's a next week goal, but you put the parameters on that goal and make the decision on how long you want that to take. And, in a relationship, it's not always as easy as that because it involves somebody else. So, you can't be in a relationship by yourself.
I gotta learn myself. Now got somebody else involved. Now we just out here.
That's it.
And this is why we need a life coach.
But that's why it's so important for you to be you and for you to be good with you. Because we don't have any control over what other people are going to do.
Absolutely.
And they may love you and who knows? They may pass away. I hate to, say that, but they may pass away and you have to adjust to being without them in that way. There's all kinds of grief as it comes to loss. And if when something happens, whatever it is, happens that makes you feel like you just floating out here, you don't know, do you want to be in a relationship? Do you want to go to school? Do you want to get a new job? A lot of times we don't even take the time to even do a list of pros and cons and see if it's really something that you want to do. Think about what is going to happen if you get what you want and what's going to happen after that.
Oh, that's a good one. Sometimes we get what we want, and like what you're saying is sometimes we may mistreat it and mishandle it, and now or maybe it be too much because we thought that the grass was green on that side, and I don't really like green. The grass too green.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
This is why we need a life coach, y'all. This
makes sense. Because a lot of times as women, we're the nurturers, and when you are in that role, it encompasses so many things. But a lot of times it doesn't encompass being nurturing to yourself. But I know everyone is familiar with the flight attendants' instructions about putting the oxygen on first. And that's what you have to do. You have to refresh yourself. You have to, you have to eat right. You have to do all the things that you know that you ought to do. And sometimes though, if it's not something that you've been doing, you may know that you need to eat healthier. You may know that you need to go walking in the morning, but does that mean you're going to get up and do it? No. Because if the only person that you're telling that is you'll be like, girl, this bed feels good. I don't think.
Okay, let me hit snooze on this alarm real quick.
We ain't going today. We ain't going. So
y'all know, look, y'all in the chat, y'all know y'all be doing that. We the only ones that's
look, I know. But if you think about the fact that you have met with your life coach and you laid out your plan, and if you don't go, it's gonna throw you off for the rest of your day. Because for one, you're gonna be thinking about it all day long. Now, I know I should have gotten up and gone. And because what was keeping me from going? You go through all of that, and you just get up and go. Do you know I'm talking to myself right now? You do. You just.
And me too.
No, I'm talking
I'm
to
gonna be
myself.
honest.
Because
'Cause
that
I
getting
was
up.
serious. I ain't hit that gym yet. Me in September.
Ooh, I'm not a gym person, but I participate with a walking group with some wonderful ladies that I've met here where I live in Manta, Ecuador. And yes, I love saying that.
Luxury.
Yesterday was our 6-month anniversary for moving here. So yay.
Yay.
But it's great here. It is wonderful. But
Can we pause? I'm sorry. Can we just pause for a minute? Y'all, don't she look good to be in her 60s? Like she threw that age out there and kept going. But we gonna take a minute to just say how
thank you.
fabulous
Thank
you
you.
look. I just, sitting here amongst you, I cannot wait till I get in my 60s and I
Yeah,
am
girl, come
fine
on.
and
It's a beautiful
fabulous.
thing. Look,
Look,
I tell you, the question of the day, the hardest thing that we have to worry about is what we're gonna eat. What we're gonna eat.
oh, that's Margaret.
Because, the ocean, I was trying to position myself so that you all can see, but it was giving me a bad vibe. I think you can kind of see it back there, but
See a little bit.
that's the horizon back there. I live, there is a balcony right there. The balcony goes beside the living room, which I'm in, and then over on the other side to the bedroom. So out of the bedroom, there's a sliding glass door. And we can just, if I want to, I can open the blinds and see the horizon from the bed. Y'all, I'm telling you,
Hashtag goals.
but
Okay.
that is one of the things that I work with the women, for the women that I work with, because 3 years ago, this was not on my radar at all. Had no idea. Not just now I had retired. I
Now,
retired.
when you say, and I'm sorry, when you say this wasn't on your radar, moving to Ecuador, just so we're clear, was not on your radar. Okay.
Not even 3 years ago, it wasn't. We were living in Jacksonville, Florida, and I saw, how you be on YouTube, and I ended up participating with a group, and I will say her name, Stephanie Perry, with the Exodus Summit. And there, if you are interested in leaving the country, that's a great Facebook group for you to join. But I got in touch with her. One thing led to another, me watching videos and everything. And we ended up here. Probably when I first found out about it, I would say 14 months. From the time I found out to the time we got here, I think 14 months. And we did just what I do with the women that I work with, because as we were talking about, like with having an accountability partner, one of the things that I do with them is a vision board. And a vision board is a tool that helps you to focus. It helps you to lay out, think about, because for a lot of us, we've never thought outside of our current life.
Right.
There maybe have only lived in this, you may have lived in the same city all your life and never really even, you weren't pressed up about leaving. It's not a big deal staying or leaving. You're okay, but you never really even gave it a whole lot of thought. But if you think about the world, there's so much out there. And it doesn't have to mean that you can't go back to where you're from. It just means that you have new experiences outside of what you're used to. And it enriches you as a person. And we have one life. Have one. And if you are harboring thoughts of, oh, I wish, put those thoughts out and work towards that goal. So back to the vision board. When I facilitate the vision board experiences that I do, I take you through questions to get your mind and your subconscious thinking about, what do I really want in life? I've never really thought that far. What do I want in 5 years? What do I want when I retire? What do I want? You know, you can make it specific, you can make it broad because it's yours. Make it however you like. But once you begin to create the vision board, your mind is processing the images that you are using. And when you finish it, we as a group talk about what we put on there and why, which shares that with someone else and puts it out into the universe, that these are the things that you want. But also you shared with other people that this is what you wanted for your life. So they know these things as well. And they may see you a month later and be like, hey, I remember you put blah, blah, blah on your vision board, or you wanted to go to the beach on your vision board. Have you been yet, or do you have plans to go? And seeing if you just put that vision board in the corner, you ain't think about it anymore. But here, this other person who you shared your dreams with thought about it. That helps that come on back around. It brings it back to you. And that's
Which
what,
is also that accountability, it sounds like.
and there it is. Even though that person may not be a formal accountability partner, it still ends up having the same impact. So,
So I want to pause right there. And I
okay.
do want to go to the chat because we have a lot of beautiful people in our chat.
Oh,
And I wanted to just shout out a couple of people who
okay.
are just excited to be here in the ladies lounge and a part of the conversation. We have Simone who says she loves this conversation real life. We have Cachette that says accountability forces you to put you first over what others may say or see of you.
Absolutely right.
I think that
Because
was
if you say you want to do something and then, okay, let's say, for example, you know, a lot of us tend to volunteer. We volunteer, you know, we have kids, you know, you don't want to say no, but sometimes you have to say no. It's okay.
no is
And
a complete sentence.
sentence and all of those things. I need a minute. I need an evening. I need a day.
Correct.
Whatever it is, I need it, and I'm about to take it too. So
Correct.
y'all going to do whatever it is you need to do, because don't count me in. I'm not participating. Find somebody else to do it. Ain't that what they say?
Find
Find
somebody
somebody
else.
else to do it. So all of those things. But
Correct.
you don't, you will kill over and they will keep it moving.
That's what they say.
I know of several stories, true stories, where people have died at work and the workplace did not shut down. One was a bank.
Wow.
Right. Exactly. So don't let these people drain you from all of your life. It doesn't matter who those people are. They might be in your family. So, you know, they may
And I
be
also want to
open, but
I want to open the floor to our viewers that's watching. You know, drop some questions that you have for Deborah so we can answer it real time for you. But I do have a question for you.
okay.
And my question is around confidence. I'm really confidence is my thing. Okay. You know, I can sit here and talk about that. I can talk about that all day, but I do understand that some women have barriers for when they face confidence and how to build and maintain that confidence. So what are some strategies or some little nuggets that you would share with us for women who want to build that confidence?
Well, it depends on where the lack of confidence is coming from. If it's the people that are around you, then you need to find some new people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we have to unlearn behaviors that support a lack of confidence, like not speaking up for yourself.
Right.
That may be difficult, but it's sometimes necessary. And it doesn't mean you have to be rude, but it also doesn't mean that you don't say anything. People will treat you however you allow them to. And as I have gotten older, I'm sure I was talking to one of my friends today, and she said there are just some things that I'm not doing anymore. And I get that, because there's some things I'm not doing anymore. And I think sometimes that does come with age and maturity. You kind of recognize that in all sincerity, people can't really make you do anything.
That's true.
They really can't.
True. Yeah.
And if you are frustrated all the time because you always doing stuff that other people want you to do, then you're gonna have an ulcer and all of those things, and they go on by their business.
Come on now.
And here you are,
With
downtrodden,
this
high
hospital
blood
bill
pressure,
right. We don't have
all
time
of
for
that. And
I think the best thing, y'all, that I ever heard Deborah say from the moment I met her, she know what I'm about to say. She know what I'm about to say. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Absolutely.
That's the most neutral response that I have ever heard, but also standing firm on your base. Like, I'm standing 10 toes down on this is my decision that I made. Whoever like it, don't like it. No, I don't want to go out tonight because I just don't.
I just don't. And there's no explanation required. No explanation required. You don't want to go? All right, girl. We'll see you next time. Good. Get a good nap from me.
Right.
But generally, I was the one getting the nap.
So, and I see we got some more, great comments here in the chat.
Okay.
Wiley mentioned accountability causes real separation where it is truly needed for real.
Yes, and that's because a lot of times people don't want you to, they may tell you they want you to help them, but they don't want you to help them. Sometimes people like to complain. Sometimes people like to complain. They don't really want to help. They say they do, but it gets them the attention that they may not get otherwise.
Now, with life coaching and how do you separate that? Like, if you get someone who just wants to complain and don't want to do work, but I just want to complain about life.
You just have to bring them back around. Well, I know, I understand, but now what we doing about this right here? This right here, this 1, 2, and 3, So if the way that you said you wanted to do it is not working for you, then we need to revisit it and find a different way. But if you still want to do it, then we can accomplish it. You just got to come up with a different way. Maybe you don't like doing vision boards. You don't have to do a vision board. I have different types of tools that allow you to focus on what you need to do, or for us to determine where your focus needs to be. I do a workshop that's called the Wheel of Life. And it basically, I see you smiling because I know you've seen it. But the Wheel of Life is a way to evaluate how you are spending your time in your life. And if that is a smooth wheel or if it's
let me tell y'all, I was a bumpy ride.
It's just
no, y'all need a seatbelt to ride this.
Exactly. So when you realize that, if this was rolling, child, and it, then you look at it,
sickness going on.
You need a balance to make it work. But so you don't have to do a vision board. You can there are other tools that are available that, we can talk and just, there are even just pros, cons. It's simple as that, it doesn't
One
have
thing
to
I did find out, to your point of the Wheel of Life, let me tell y'all, when she introduced me to the Wheel of Life, and I also, she allowed me permission to share this even at work. And the just aha moment that you get, especially if you're a visual person like myself, when you put it on paper and you get to see where it is that you're spending majority of your time, where you need to spend most of it, it really changes the game for you. Like
Absolutely.
I've done vision boards. I've done well, I just recently did this year did a prayer board because I
Mhm.
wanted something different from the vision board. But that Wheel of Life, I always go back to because of just, you know, how it looks, and then it makes you, well, for me, I can speak for myself, it makes me want to work on these things because I can see it differently than I can see a vision board.
Right, right. Absolutely.
But it's so
Yep.
amazing. And
Mhm.
I see, I'm not ignoring the people in the chat because I do see some people ask, how can they, you know, get involved with life coaching? How can they connect with you? And we are going to spill the tea, but just not right now.
Okay.
However,
Thank you
however,
all.
no, I ain't no gatekeeper. Of course, you know, follow, please subscribe, like, comment, be active on YouTube. Is where you can find her at Deborah Austin for those who would be interested in having a deeper conversation outside of the Ladies Lounge and connect with Deborah. She is phenomenal. I'm not just saying this because I know her. And then, of course, y'all already know to follow the Ladies Lounge so you could keep up with all of this good content and conversation. We're here, y'all. We are here to just share nuggets and knowledge before the time run out. But we're not done just yet. However, I have question. You know, I ain't want the people to think that we gatekeeping and they won't get access to you.
I got
Um,
you.
but I do have a question. I'm just full of questions over here. In your for your experience,
Mhm.
right, of being a life coach, what do you think are some of the most common limiting beliefs that hold women back?
Mm. One of the first ones that comes to my mind is imposter syndrome. And I know you all probably have heard of that. It's like, you know, who I think I am, or thinking that other people are thinking who she thinks she is. And you have to truly get beyond worrying about what other people think. Because if you don't, you will never do anything. Just it's very the limiting beliefs are all put in place to keep you from moving forward or going beyond whatever that barrier is. It's a belief that limits you from doing anything. That's why it's a limiting belief. So that's one, imposter syndrome. A lot of times, also, it's your upbringing. You may have been brought up in a religious home that said this or that, and you can't get beyond that. And it's a limiting belief.
Right.
I'm not saying that the religion or anything specifically,
Right.
whatever it is, that particular thing that keeps you in, there's such a thing as, women are not supposed to speak in a church, all that kind of stuff. Or even to when I was a little girl, and I don't know which religion it was, but girls didn't wear pants. They could only wear dresses. It may have been a long dress, or if it was short, wasn't gonna be short, but like below the
Right.
knee or something, but no pants. And so as an adult, if you were brought up that way, you may have a problem, wearing pants. So it's anything that will, hold you back. It may be you. You just,
That's deep.
I can't do it.
That's deep.
I, I, I can't do that. A lot of times we don't have enough self-confidence, or even not even that it's confidence, just that you don't feel like you have that ability.
Mm.
But you don't know till you try. And even if you aren't successful at it, that doesn't mean you can't try it again.
Right, right. That's that's heavy. That is heavy
You
because
know,
I don't think people really realize how much we do. We are in our own way. Sometimes it's nobody else. It's nobody else that you could blame but yourself. But you are gonna blame somebody else. And until you get with a life coach, who's gonna make it clear for you to say no,
right.
but it is you because you hit snooze on the alarm, knowing that you wanted to get up a little
Mhm.
earlier and work out before work or create these great routines. So I can because what I'm understanding from the conversation that we're having is once I get out my own way, this could possibly make me a better, not just a woman, but a better mom, a better, spouse.
Every area of your life will improve. Because, like when you are not stressed, when you are not trying to please this person, that person, that's stressful. Trying to keep up with all these things that other people are demanding of you or want you to do, or, that's juggling balls.
Right,
When you
right,
can reduce the number of balls because you feel like you have too many, reduce the number of balls. You might still juggle, and that's okay because you go from one thing to another, but you don't have to have 15 balls. You
correct.
can have five.
I don't want to be a part of the
Somebody,
circus no more. I
girl,
don't want to
let
juggle.
somebody else have them. I think about how my life was when I was working. And like I said, my last 21 years of working, I was a teacher, and the last 6 years, my job was 52 miles away from my house, one way. So, yeah. So you can
One
imagine
way.
the commute. But I had to get up early and, do those
Right, right.
things, get there. Then when you get there, you do the job. And then when you finish with the job, you gotta get back home. Then you get home, we as the women generally were doing the cooking or providing the dinner, or even if it meant
Oh,
you
what we do.
on the way, you know, it just felt like being on a treadmill, just
Yeah,
constantly going, constantly
yeah.
going. So take some breaks, do some meditation, do some yoga, do some walking. And sometimes when you are listening to music, listen to music that does not have words.
Um,
Allow yourself just, it could be jazz or something, but it could also be, the music that you listen to when you're meditating. It'll be something like that to allow your brain to relax. And that lowers your cortisol levels, lowers your stress, and cortisol makes you gain weight, and specifically belly fat. So do the things that
Guilty.
you need to do. I when I lived in Jacksonville, and actually when we lived in Atlanta too, I had a jacuzzi tub, and I put candles around and bubble bath, and had my sage burning and my Palo Santo burning, and just
Creating
relax
that
in the
vibe that,
tub, have the lights down, and just
yes,
you just got to get away and be by yourself sometime, even if that's in a closet. you
right.
know put a little chair in the closet and close the door, nobody know you're in there, because sometimes you just have to just escape, you
You
know
do.
but use that time to do some, reflection.
And lo-fi, to your point, lo-fi music is really, really good. I found
Mhm.
that to be very common. I love my smooth jazz, but like you said,
The
creating that
low, it actually,
atmosphere,
yes,
because the vibration of the music
that's
too
it.
is
That's
what
it.
helps create that
Absolutely.
calmness. You know, I may have wanted to choke somebody earlier, but when I come out of this Zen, I may want to give them a hug. You know what I'm saying? Like, or it even helps when like you need to make this big decision
Yeah.
on your career move and things like that. Or, you know, whatever it is that, like you said, you want to clear your mind, it really does work because I do it.
Absolutely.
Like before I go into something where I just need to just quiet the noise, I would just quiet the noise, turn on some
Absolutely.
lo-fi or some smooth jazz, and
Yeah.
I would just sit in water
You
if I
know,
can.
but yes, or just lay on the bed in the complete darkness. Put your
Mm-mm.
phone on do not disturb or turn it off. You know,
Oh,
we are glued to these phones.
ain't
Turn
nobody
it
calling.
off. A lot of us are afraid to turn them off. I fall asleep and then it won't wake me up or whatever. But you need to give your brain and your body a reprieve.
Yeah,
And
and it'll help you. It'll help you make your decisions on whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in your career, whether especially in, you know, most importantly, self. You know, when it comes to making decisions for yourself. I was just having this conversation a couple of days ago where I was sharing with one of my friends how I've learned a part of turning that noise off was, you know, especially within my relationship um, with a, you know, special someone and not listening to everybody else around me and really just listening on what does Brittany want? What is she accepting?
mhm,
Okay, that is okay for Brittany, that may not be okay
for
for
somebody else.
Deborah or the
Mhm,
next person. And
mhm.
and then, you know, my favorite part is it is what it is
It
because
is what
this
it
is what
is. It
this is
is
what
what it
Brittany
is.
doing.
I had one of my clients was she's married and she was struggling in her marriage, but she didn't want to have to like make a decision about staying or going. She just wanted to be able to find some peace. And that was what we worked on. And we found different ways for her to do things that made her feel, you know, she was one of those people who had not been out to dinner by herself very much, you know. She done it, but not, you know. And she said she enjoyed it. She just hadn't done it in a while. Well, you know, maybe that's something you might want to revisit. Or just, you know, whatever it is that you feel that you need to do for you, take the time to do it. Because a lot of us, you know, I have you seen this is a adult coloring book.
Oh,
So it's I've only actually colored one page in here, but I use some colored pencils and it's very calming. You know, you get somewhere and sit and I actually did this on our trip on our way here. That was a part of what I did while we were on our with our layover. But you know, there are a lot of things that, you know, think about what you did as a child that brought you joy. It might be taking naps. It's nothing wrong with that.
let me tell you something. I love my nap time.
Girl, I love my
I love my nap and snack time.
yes, exactly. But you
But
know,
to your point with the coloring book,
yeah.
my mom does that. Like she
Mhm.
actually put me on to coloring. And so back home we have a pool in the back and she has decked out the back to where it's like her safe
Yeah.
space. So when you go out there, it's a whole vibe. And we would just color. We would do that
Just
during the
did, you know,
pandemic. That's
or
where it
maybe
started from.
some, maybe uh putting puzzles together.
Yes.
At a school that I subbed at when I was in Florida, the assistant principal had she had a table in her office and she always had a puzzle that was in process. And she'd have the kids, you know, it was a calming, it was a way for them to reset. If they were in her office, generally it was a problem.
Right.
So, here, sit down for a minute, work on this puzzle. I'll be with you in just a minute. And let them kind of regroup, and it is another way to kind of reset, because you're
Right.
sitting, you've got your focus on that, and it's not stressful. Because
Right.
that's the thing. A lot of times the things that we are focusing on cause us stress, and they're not relaxing. So in bringing calm, because our bodies need that. The
Right.
naps,
Right.
they need the naps, need to make sure you get enough rest at night,
And what was it
hydrate.
that you said? We need to go back to you said, what was it about the child in us or the inner, how did you say that?
Go back to the things that made you happy when, that you enjoyed when you were
That made you
young, when
happy.
you were a child. A lot of us probably did like to color.
Right.
Maybe we use crayons, not colored pencils, but now, or you can use crayons if you want to. Get a kid's coloring book and, do what you want to do. How about that? As long as it's not illegal, it's not infringing upon anybody else's rights and all that kind of stuff, and it makes you happy, whatever, just, maybe something small. I remember I went to a candle making class one time, and it was just, it wasn't, long and drawn out, but it was just a little getaway. And the candle scents and it smelled so good, and it was very peaceful and calming.
Right.
Whatever can bring you that calming joy, and grounding yourself. Go outside barefoot sometime. Walk in the grass. Walk on the beach if you can.
Right.
Connect to the earth, because it's needed.
It's essential. It is. It is essential. Absolutely. I know. So I heard somebody say, "Go out and hug a tree."
Okay.
Like,
absolutely.
I thought it was weird, but then I found myself, y'all, walking my dog, and it was this really pretty tree. And next thing you know, I didn't hug it, but I was standing there, and I felt like we was admiring each other, like the tree was like, "Hey girl," like, "Hey." But it was just connecting with nature.
Absolutely. That's it.
Like,
that's it.
Hey, that's
that
something.
is it.
But I just want to thank you for coming in the ladies' lounge. And
girl, this has been fun. We're going to have to do this again.
Of course. Hello. We here.
I'm looking at my face. All right, y'all. Okay, I'm getting ready to do something that I've already told y'all that you shouldn't be doing. But I'm looking at my face. I'm like, I look so shiny, but I think it's these lights.
No, actually, you look good.
I don't look shiny. Okay, good.
No.
Yeah.
Well, since you put yourself out there, I was sitting here like I look pale. Like, but I was over here looking pale, but that's me.
We're good.
But you looking good, honey. You was wearing
and look, and this is what we do as well. We pump each other up.
Hello.
Help that sister fix her crown. So we good.
Right.
We are good.
I love these conversations. This is my type of vibe. And just to share with everybody who is watching, like what we do here in the ladies lounge, we don't gatekeep. So I thought it was really, really, really important to have this conversation, because some people may want to know what is a life coach. Hopefully there was something that resonated with you to understand more about having a life coach, and how important it is to have also that accountability. Don't be afraid of the word accountable. Right. It is. Look, this is something that we need to just have in rotation. It needs to stay in the algorithm, because we have to hold ourselves accountable. And we need good people around us that's going to do it as well. So don't shy away from it.
In a nice way, not in a confrontational or a way to make you to feel, bad.
Correct. Absolutely. So again, we are oh, thank you. We got another Deborah in the chat say, you look good. Both of you look good. Oh,
yeah, thank you.
I look good too. Look. Okay. And she's in her 60s. I'm over here in my 30s. Okay. All right, girl. Getting pretty with her. But but that's what it's all about. Is it, like you said,
Absolutely.
building the confidence, telling the women that you are beautiful. Some people need to hear that. Some people didn't
Mhm.
hear it today. And
Mhm.
and here in the ladies lounge, we are not just all about the women, for our men as well. Men need to hear it as well. You
Yeah.
look beautiful today. You are handsome.
Let them know.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you for being you.
Yes.
And even if they didn't do nothing, they thank you for waking up today, because I still need
Okay.
you here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever
Right.
it is. And also too, Deborah, we forgot to mention this part, affirmation.
Oh, yes.
How important is
Yes.
that?
That is actually a really good way to break through limiting beliefs, because when you tell yourself the good things, just like when you tell yourself the bad things, when you tell yourself the good things, you begin to believe it. So you
Correct.
reinforce that thought, you reinforce it, and you begin to live it. And it,
Correct.
comes to fruition.
There it is.
Yes,
There it is,
thank you.
y'all. There.
Affirmations, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, and then we're gonna end on a note of sharing one more time how everybody can connect with you, that will be interested in, hearing more about becoming, partnering with you, having a life coach. Also, you do sessions on YouTube on Sundays.
I'm sorry. Look, I'm like, I do sessions, I
She's
do
like,
love
what?
sessions. Okay, so I actually have a Saturday show. It's called Midlife Marriage Magic. I'm on live at 4 every Sunday. So far I am contemplating changing it, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave it there where it is. It's working for me right now. But yeah, so if you come to my YouTube channel, and we will put the link in the comments of in the
Of the
comments.
live, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'll give you that link. I'll also I'm gonna give you the link to my YouTube channel, as well as I have I forgot the word. Anyway, the is it where you have all the other ones in there? Anyway, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll find all that you need. So we'll focus on that.
Yeah, and we have now please don't charge it to my heart, charge it to my mind, but I think I'm saying it right. We have Janella. If I didn't say, I
Janella.
love you if I said it wrong. But Janella said manifesting your goals and beliefs is extremely important. Absolutely. And listen, we could sit and have a topic on manifestation because it is real. I
Listen.
can even share with y'all how I manifested the ladies lounge. And I
Mhm.
didn't even realize that's something that I did. I wrote this out a year ago, over a year ago.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and I wrote it on paper. I had my first 2 episodes. I didn't know that it was going to be called the Ladies Lounge. I didn't know it was going to be in the form of a podcast or anything like that. I just knew that I wanted to just have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope
Mm-hmm.
that I am inspirational. I hope that, the conversations that we have are motivating, and uplifting for people to want to do better. Because, I don't, in my opinion, I don't believe that we have people that we admire nowadays. The people that we admire have expired and transitioned on.
Mm-hmm.
So now we got to be those people. You know what I'm saying? That hopefully
We are
somebody
the
can look up
inspiring
to.
ones.
Let me
Mhm.
tell you something. This one right here. These are one of my people I do admire, because I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna say this again. At 60, honey, I want to look half of what she looked like over here. Okay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. I really do.
Thank you for coming on. And
We
again, y'all,
connected from the first
go
time we saw
over.
each other. That was crazy.
Listen, we've been locked in. Okay, now
Yeah,
what? Going on
yeah,
2 years.
yeah,
Now, yeah, 2 years.
yeah.
I think what, October? We'll make 2 years
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
We have been locked in, and this is one of the things that I really enjoy with connecting with beautiful souls. Um, you just can't get rid of them when it's so genuine, and
Say
it's just we here,
we are here.
and we have fun. But as always, thank you for coming in
Of
and
course.
chopping it up in the ladies lounge with
Let me
me.
know when you want me to
Y'all
come
go
again.
over to YouTube right now and subscribe to
Yeah.
Deborah Austin. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the ladies lounge. We have a lot more topics, y'all, in store. So stay tuned. We have some big transitionings going on as well here in the ladies lounge. So join me next Wednesday at 7 p.m. As you know, guess what we're talking about next week? We are talking about emotional intelligence with Dr. Kenyatta Hill.
All
So y'all may want to, make sure you put it on your calendar and everything because we got some stuff to talk about, y'all. Before we get to 2025, we gonna be ready. And then y'all already gonna go on over and get your life coach, get your life together. So we make sure that we in the right lane. Okay.
Absolutely.
You already picked which highway you on, but now it's just getting in your lane. So as always, thank you, Ms. Deborah Austin, for being in.
Thank you
the
for
Ladies
having
Lounge.
me. This has been fun.
I appreciate you. I love you. To everybody in the chat, thank you for tuning in, listening to us. Deborah, thank you. I see that she says she has subscribed. And I'm going to say this again. Please, please, please subscribe to the Ladies Lounge. You are going to need it. I'm telling y'all that now, and you'll find out why later. But join me next Wednesday at 7 p.m. and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. here in the Ladies Lounge. I love y'all. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week.
All right. Bye.